So at this point, I can show that if you're successful with your appeal, then we have the ability here to withdraw the critical issue mode there, and that will bring you back. I can do that right now. Okay. So I'm going to remove the critical issue mode there. Okay, should be it. So if we go back to the project page, we should be back to in progress mode. So in progress, and then after that, when we approve the plan, it's similar to what we saw before. The plan has been approved, and then you receive a CLSR number. So that's one option. Now I'm going to set the system back to critical issue mode, and we'll go through the other path, the option 1, where the critical issue requires you to print a new Mylar or to do some changes on the Mylar.
So at this point, if I, as a CLS, have a look and I see that I have a critical issue found and that I need to, that I agree with the critical issue and I need to amend my plan, I will click on this. This will bring me to the critical issue page, and I'm saying, okay, yes, you're right, SGB, I have a critical issue here. I need to deal with that, and therefore I'm going to go and amend my checklist. Now, as Martin said, every time you produce a Mylar, the requirement is to produce a new checklist. But that sounds more daunting than it actually is. What we're saying is that a couple things. One is that you already done a checklist for this particular survey document, and it's really going to be your choice whether you wish to essentially start from the checklist that you've already completed and make any amendments to that checklist that are required and resubmit or use that to create a new checklist, or do you really want to start all over again and respond to all those checklist items from scratch again? It will be your choice, and I'll show you that just momentarily here. The other thing to emphasize is that just because you're having to create a new checklist in one fashion or another, because you ended up with a critical item, does not mean that you'll be paying an additional plan levy or monument levy. The system recognizes that you've already done one checklist for this survey document, and therefore it will not charge you an additional plan levy, and it will ask you if you've added any additional monuments, and it will charge you for any monuments above and beyond what you placed in the first instance, but the intention is not to charge you again for those that you've already paid for. So if you're coming through this amendment process, you have the opportunity here, you have a requirement to give it a new checklist name, and you have the opportunity of creating this new checklist by populating it with all of the responses that you gave in a previous checklist for this particular survey document. So if I choose the copy previously completed checklist, what now I find is that I have access to the one other checklist that was associated with this survey document. And again, I can use that in order to create my checklist. And certainly this is the choice that we expect most people to take, but if for whatever reason the critical issue is such that it makes sense for you to start fresh, then you would just give it a new checklist name, respond to the includes natural boundary and georeferencing, and start right from scratch. So you'll see that it's picked up that I had georeferencing selected before. It's filled in all of these items again, and so you have the ability to it was signatures maybe that I didn't get right in the first place. I'm able to come back and maybe I don't end up changing any of these, but maybe I want to maybe I want to add a comment that you know, I have now signed and sealed the plan. Whatever you feel is appropriate, you can now update that, and you can go back through the cycle now to submit this amended checklist or secondary checklist, checklist number 2, back to the ACLS. You can confirm that you've been happy there. You can, or you need to upload a amended checklist plan, an amended survey document itself here, so that we see the corrections that you've made, and you're able to move on to the submit and complete your professional review again. This will issue a new checklist number, and we're very imaginative here. We've added the letter A to the original checklist number. If you had to go through this yet a second time, we'd add the letter B, C, D, and we're certainly going on the premise that we won't run out of letters.
Okay, I wonder if there's be time. I have a few questions. Please clarify if the critical issue is submitted to practice review. Thank you. The critical issue is not submitted to practice review, but as it was mentioned before, with the checklist number, we'll see that it has a letter beside it. But this could also happen when you went through the checklist and you find that you need to amend survey instructions, so that that could require as well a new checklist. So yeah,
we'll go through.
The critical issue is not really submitted, but the Jim Gunn in his cycle will have access to all these checklists. And of course, I'm sure you will notice that there's some amended checklist, but it's not how shall I say, the practice review doesn't receive a notice of a critical issue or something like that.
Correct. It would only come to light if that particular survey document was subject to a practice review.
Yeah. Okay, and another question is, what if the critical issue does not change anything on the checklist, such as a plan that is not signed? Does a new checklist need to be submitted?
So yes, but you have this opportunity of copying your previous checklist, not changing anything, and simply hitting submit. So yes, you do end up requiring a second checklist, but it's a very fast and convenient process to go through.
And while we're on the checklist, I have a question. Is offshore CLS type plans integrated into the system? I.e., are this checklist generic, or if the offshore is selected, would be detailed checklist category change?
Well, maybe Martin can answer part of that, but certainly the checklist is customized to the type of survey and the type of survey document. So the items would be customized accordingly.
Yeah, and I don't think the system is customized for offshore type of plans.
At least at this point, yeah.
Yeah, not at this point. I have to get back to this surveyor. I'll take some information, but I don't think it is configured right now for offshore plans.
Okay, I have another question. Show us the item for the survey report on the checklist. Well, that's another document.
It doesn't go through the details of what's in the survey report at this point. It's simply confirming that you have prepared a survey report and that you have signed it and dated and sealed it.